I pled guilty to my charges. I understand everything that's being said against me, the charges that are against me, and that is why I pled guilty. But I had no intent to break any Russian laws.
Rebound grabbed by Sanders. Kuzi waiting for his man. Bounce pass to Russell.
And a high fly ball to left field. It is away out and gone. The Dodgers win it 11-10.
This is Nothing But That Sports Talk. Welcome to another episode of Nothing But That Sports Talk. I'm Rafique Louison alongside Aya Abdeen. Yeah, this past week's has been literally serious.
That is true.
And I couldn't think of anything to top it off than what happened to Brittney Griner. She pleaded guilty of drug charges and she's sentenced to 9 years in prison. We heard that sentence. Thoughts?
So I know that the prisoner swap isn't underway because once the trial is over, the negotiations for a prisoner swap between Russia and the United States are in the works right now. But I feel sick to my stomach when I heard about the news of Brittney Griner. I mean, it sucks when having to go to a communist country to go make more money than the WNBA gives in the off season, which is really, really frustrating. And I know how much of an emotional toll it took on players today, seeing the outcry on social media, which it really, really breaks my heart for sure. And especially, I teared up. I was crying when I heard about the news because I know it's heartbreaking. It's devastating to deal with, and when I saw the players show solidarity for Brittney Griner, it shows that it's bigger than basketball. It's been an emotional day around the W. It's heartbreaking.
Emotional day indeed. I mean, when you watch the Phoenix Mercury take on the Connecticut Sun in back-to-back games, the Mercury can't even think about basketball right now.
Yeah,
players, not just important to your team, but important to the league, having to sit in Russia for 9 years of your life.
It's scary. It's really, really scary for sure. The Phoenix Mercury, they had to play with the heavy hearts today. And especially in the last few games when thinking about their sister and their beloved teammate, when they have to deal with so much. There was a lot of fear and uncertainty, including for the first year head coach Vanessa Nygaard. It's really, really, really scary to think about how much emotional toll it took on the players. I couldn't imagine how much they're going through right now. It's just really, really frustrating. And I understand why they have to play through frustration, and I know that they really need peace. There are things that are bigger than basketball right now, which is getting Brittney Griner home, and that's what I want to see happen. Mostly.
I'm not even going to make fun of the fact that they got smoked by the Liberty and the Connecticut Sun again, because you guys are really, the team is not really themselves. You see how good they are without Brittney Griner, which is not really important to talk about because she's important to W. I mean, I'm on the Spotify Live with Christina Williams. It was in a bunch of other W media. Let's say we're talking about the situation, and they gave all their perspective, and I managed to get my perspective too. And when I'm listening to these people give their reaction, talk about how devastated it is for Brittney Griner to get stuck, and how she got treated wrongfully, aside from the fact that she should have not done drugs in the first place.
Honestly, there are a lot of people on social media that are just making fun of Brittney Griner. And
right now, even to this day, even when she's stuck in Russia,
it's just really scary. The misogyny, the racism, sexism, and homophobia in these comments are really, really disgusting. These are the same people that believe that the January 6th is only a terrorism. Wow, it's actually an insurrection. The president encouraged the supporters to attack the Capitol Police officers, in which it left the Capitol Police officers to have trauma for the rest of their lives. This is just really, really scary. Looking at the people that have no sympathy for, I don't even know what to say, but when I'm seeing that the people would like to target Black women and LGBTQ athletes like Russia because they're known for an anti-propaganda law that has been in effect since 2013. It's really, really scary to go to Russia and fear that they could have been one of us. Like, that's what the players are saying. Like, Angel McCautry and Brianna Stewart are saying it could have been any of us. Like, they fear that it could have been one of them, and it's Brittney Griner. It's just really, really scary. And what I think it should happen in the future is there should be equal pay, so players don't have to go overseas and fear of stuff happening. What happened to Brittney Griner? Like, there should be more opportunities for women because there is pay inequity around the United States right now.
Luckily, Kathy Engelbert's extended the WNBA to 40 games next year.
Yeah.
At least that's a start. 40 games. That's half the NBA season right there.
Yep. That's really, really good. Like, that's a good progress. And then, like, there should be more progress in the future, and especially the expansion. That's what we need to talk about, is the expansion.
Exactly. They're really working on getting more teams in by 2025. I'm so glad we got somebody like Kathy Engelbert to try to add more WBA teams. Possibly bringing back the older teams, like the Houston Comets. They were a dynasty
Oh, yes.
that took out the
Classic.
beginning of the WNBA season. Why not bring them back and to show us this thing? It was basically relevant during Don Staley's coaching days. He's in the Orlando Miracle. Well, obviously the Orlando Miracle is still here because of the Connecticut Sun. But even during those days, but with that franchise is the reason why Carolyn Peck was doing a phenomenal job as an analyst. He made a name for himself as a coach.
Yes. I think like there should be like new cities to add in. Like Sabrina Ionescu has been wanting the Bay Area to happen because the Golden State Warriors, they're known for like the dynasty that has Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson, and there should be a WNBA team in the Bay Area, and I want it to happen. Like, I really want to see it happening. That's like a good possibility.
Yeah, well, they work. Well, I remember me and Christina. We listened to a press conference where the WNBA and some Oakland media company were working on getting a team to Oakland. And why not? It's only fair. With the goals, as good as the Golden State Warriors have been, not just for the championships, but the fan engagement that been developed for all these years. When Stephen Curry got drafted and he literally became that homegrown point guard for that franchise. Why not add a WNBA team to it to see where you can go? I mean.
That's a good idea.
Philadelphia, and of course, Philadelphia needs a WNBA team too. That'll be another city that's like literally an hour and a half drive from New York City.
Ooh, like
when you think about those cities having WNBA teams, Philadelphia has a lot of sports teams. Oakland has a lot of sports teams. California has a lot of sports teams.
There should be a WNBA team in states that don't have a sports team, like which it should be like a good idea. So there could be more women's sports fans, like women's basketball fans growing in the future. Like there should be progress. Like it's a building in progress. Like I mean, this season, it's been like a ups and downs season, and like Kathy Engelbert has been making progress, which is a good sign for the W. And then I want to see that more happening in the future. And not to mention about the traveling. There has been a lot of traveling in the issues in the season, and I just wanted to like bring that up because I am still mind blown to the fact that New York Liberty got fined $500,000 for taking chartered flights. That's like,
oh yeah, that's right.
2 players' salaries. Like, oh my god, like that's like really, really mind blowing.
You know what? I'm glad you're thinking about other teams in the WNBA instead of your own, because that's just going to show the type of WNBA fan you really are.
Mm-hmm. Like I've been watching like closely to like a whole lot of WNBA teams this season because like this season it made me feel more connected in a long time, like since with the Brittney Griner situation, and seeing how the league is giving support to one of my favorite players around my city. Like it's really like bigger than basketball to me. Like it's like really nice to see that support Brittney Griner is getting while she's having to go do so much, like for almost half the year. She has been wrongfully detained since February 17, and it's just devastating. And I don't think that the WNBA players would want to go to Russia ever again, and especially basketball players or even athletes after what the country has done to BG, which is like really, really screwed up. That's for sure.
The disrespect to Brittney Griner. 9 years. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. 9 years.
Disgusting. That is disgusting. Like gross. That's just really, really gross. Like knowing for the relationships of the United States and Russia, like you see how like when it comes to like politics, there has been like so much negative relationships between US and Russia. Not to mention about the election from like 6 years ago. I'm sorry if I had to bring this up because remember what Russia had done to elect Donald Trump as president, and it has been a living hell since then. This has been like, so much with like the election, and Russia took away the election from Hillary Clinton. Like, it's just really, really like a nightmare to me, like for sure. It's just screwed up.
Yeah, and the fact that and you know what? I spoken to Kurt Miller earlier today in the press conference, and I mean, not only is he going through that, he's also going through the loss of his mother.
Mm-hmm.
He's really going through it.
Yeah.
We're gonna listen to a clip of what the guy said when I spoke to him earlier about everything that happened today with the Brittney Griner situation.
To see it happen to one of my teammates and be so close to it and understand that it could have been me, it definitely puts it into perspective. And yeah, it's tough. Mm-hmm. Nah, there was never really anything. Like there was, I mean, after the whole thing with BG, like we looked up stuff online and we found out like CBD was even illegal in Russia. You know, like that's something that we all have in our bags that we use to help our bodies compete, and it has no effects on you any other way than to just try to make your body feel a little bit better. So there were things that we learned because of BG, and so there wasn't really anything that the team told us. We just kind of did our thing and tried to be respectful of what was going on over there.
This is Rafique with Nothing But That Sports. I got a question for DJ Carrington. I just want to ask you, how difficult was it to focus on tonight's game when you had the BG situation and your coach, the death of the family?
I think JJ just spoke to it, but we just, tried to stick together. A big part of being a professional is trying to learn how to compartmentalize, and I think that was something that we really had to do today is, always keep those thoughts and those prayers and positivity, in our minds, but we still had to go out and play the game. So I think it was just trying to do that.
Appreciate the insight. Good luck. Okay, now that we listened to the press conference, what are your thoughts?
So when I heard that Kurt Miller spoke about what he's going through, not only with his loss of his mother, but also with the BG situation, it's been a hard day for league wide for the WNBA, and seeing how like what Dejanay Carrington like pointed out about having to act professional during in a game today, which it's really challenging during this hard time because Brittney Griner is a Black queer LGBTQ person, and it's just really hard to like focus on the game while you have to think about Brittney Griner, which it's really, really heartbreaking. It's just really sad to think about so much going on inside our minds. Like it's just really, really hard to like think about. Like I know how hard it is, and I understand for all the players. And not to mention about Skylar Diggins-Smith and Diamond DeShields, they were in the press conference and they said nobody wanted to play tonight. Like they were having a lot of intense emotions inside.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to bring it up, or at least I brought it up earlier today. Skylar Diggins-Smith, you could tell she said she did not want to play tonight. That's what makes it so tough to watch. This.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, how can you focus on basketball right now when one of your?
It's hard. It's hard to focus on basketball while you have to think about the heartbreaking news that just really happened. Like for me, I couldn't even think about the game because of Brittney Griner in general, and it's just really, really hard to think about the game while you have to think about a certain player that's going through hell since February. It's just really, really devastating for sure. Like I know it's just really sad. It's just the emotions are going inside players. And I really wish the WNBA would have forfeited the game, in my opinion, because so they could have some time to recover physically and mentally. Like, I really think it should have happened because they need time to heal and recover to make sure that they're themselves again. I was just so worried about the Mercury tonight because I know that it's gonna be rough having to respond to the BG situation. Like, it's really hard to play while thinking about Brittney Griner. Is just really tough, man. I know it is.
Yeah, and I spoke to Kurt Miller about it earlier tonight, and he said he was really going through it. I mean, you can't even think about winning tonight's game because all you can think about is the loss of its mother. And I just end the conversation by saying, and appreciate the insight and my condolences to you. Just pay my respects to this guy, move on.
Yeah. And Skylar Diggins Smith said, it's heavy. It's just heavy, y'all. Y'all asking these questions don't really take away from our trauma. You just add to our trauma. We can break down and cry in front of y'all so you can see how we feel. Like, what else I don't know what else to really say about it. It's our sister. That is not some random Jane off the street. It's not anything we're politicizing. It's a human being, and this is our real life friend and real life sister. So imagine if your real life friend or real life sister is out here. Now, I don't expect everyone to give a damn, but we really do. If we come out here, we're still supposed to play this game. Nobody wanted to even play today. How are you supposed to approach the game, approach the court, and with a clear mind? And the whole group is crying before the game because you try to honor her and you try to come out and still play hard for her. And you know, regardless if she's here or not, right now we still got to try to keep our spirit alive, to honor her spirit, and try to get some momentum. This is just really, really heartbreaking. I know it's just really devastating for players to focus on a game while thinking about their sister and their beloved teammate going through hell in a communist country. It's just sad.
Yeah, I'm surprised that when I was on the ACC call, when they barely lost to the Dallas Wings tonight, they were focused on the game. They don't mind talking about the game over the Brittney Griner situation. Or I mean, Chelsea Gray brought the situation with Brittney Griner somewhat, but he didn't get to a depth on it as much as Skylar Diggins Smith and the millions of the face Mercury and the Connecticut Sun tonight.
It's just like, it's a really hard day for the W for sure. It's really hard for the WNBA to focus on the game while thinking about Brittney Griner. Like, you've seen how the whole league is it's pleading for her freedom. Plead for her freedom, like, which is really, really important. It's bigger than basketball right now. That's what we have.
Ari and Christina protesting all the way up in Harlem to get Brittney Griner out, and it didn't work.
We need to put our voices and speak more and spread awareness about the Brittney Griner situation. You see how difficult it is to think about this situation, and it's really important to spread awareness about Brittney Griner because not only she's an athlete, she's also an American citizen. So it's really important to spread awareness about Brittney Griner because she's an American citizen. She's a wife. She's an LGBTQ advocate. It's really important to spread awareness about Brittney Griner right now because she's going through a lot of it in Russia, and it's just really, really heartbreaking for sure. I'm so sorry if the door opened again. So let me just repeat it again. So to the followers of Rafique Louison's Nothing But That Sports Talk, I encourage you all to spread more awareness about Brittney Griner right now. She's a U.S. citizen. She's a wife. She's an Olympian. She's a WNBA champion. She's a WNBA All-Star. She's many more than what Vladimir Putin has accomplished. Period.
Yeah, period indeed. And you know what? Brian Walker eventually going to come on the show. He just has to deal with some stuff with his job to get his take on the situation. But at the moment, all we can do is we can only drag out this conversation for so long. But I want to get to something else, something different that happened. And I mean, obviously, we had two individuals in the sports media field that passed away this week. Number one, Bill Russell, and former Dodgers broadcaster Vince Scully.
It's just a hard loss. Like, I was listening to Vince Scully's legendary voiceovers for the Dodgers games, and he is the best for sure. Like, he's dearly missed, and so is Bill Russell. Like, you see how Bill Russell has been spreading awareness about civil rights, and you see how he's putting in perspective when it comes to something that's bigger than basketball right now.
Exactly. And getting back to watching these two individuals pass away of natural causes. It's almost like it's if they knew it was time. I mean, I watched a news story earlier today where Bobby Cianfardini, who's a sports director for a WWE radio station that I worked at. But I mean, I've seen Vince Scully. They even named an award after this guy at Fordham University. Me being a Fordham alum, I can kind of have at least a taste of what this guy did when he was going to Fordham University and being the broadcaster he grew out to be. Retired in 2016, called many World Series and All-Star games. Not to mention, when I first heard this guy's voice, he did play-by-play for that one game where the Padres had 4 consecutive home runs against the Padres in 1 extra innings. Hearing that guy make that call is just incredible.
It's really impressive to see Vince Scully like make an impact on Dodgers baseball games, and how he encourages the fans to like watch them. But that's what made the fans enjoy the games of Dodgers baseball, and how he built the culture of the Dodgers in the last few years. And then when I was watching the last segment of Vince Scully back in 2016, when he said, "This is Dodgers baseball," it was just like amazing. Like, you see how he built his legendary career, which is like, really impressive.
Yeah, it's really impressive. And when I think about Vince Scully, I mean, I never really got to know him personally, but after seeing him being interviewed by these Fordham students before my time, he literally led inspiration to the younger generation of sports broadcasters that we have today.
Yeah.
Like, he's inspiration on you to go
Yeah.
through a career in sports journalism. And I'm glad that when you started watching sports and being a Phoenix Mercury fan in 2016, that you got a glimpse of what this guy's voice, because he's going to touch a lot of hearts, even when he's not here to tell you directly himself. I mean, I remember watching the broadcast of Don Oberlin. He used to be the play-by-play guy for the Boston Red Sox. He's now doing play-by-play for the San Diego Padres. He mentioned something about how he talked to Vince Scully for advice. And the advice that he gave him really helped his career.
Oh, what is the advice that he gave him? Like, that is like really cool to hear.
Exactly. Now, transition to Bill Russell passing away. I want to, like, if you ever got a chance to see this guy's highlights, you know he's a dominant rim protector. I saw highlights of when they clinched wins against the Lakers in, like, I believe it was in the 1950s or 1940s, somewhere around those realms. He dominated.
He's an 11-time NBA champion.
Nobody surpasses championship. Nobody's gonna have an undefeated record in your NBA career. I don't care how talented you are as a shooter or rim protector. You're not gonna touch Bill Russell's record.
Right. It's just really impressive to see Bill Russell like build up his NBA career like with 11 NBA championships, and to have an NBA Finals MVP award named after him is really like legendary, because you see how they honor his career, which is like really important for a young generation of NBA fans to look up to. So it's really cool seeing the MVP award named after Bill Russell.
And I remember watching the earlier the earlier NBA finals during the years with LeBron James and Tim Duncan and Stephen Curry showed up. Bill Russell was there for some of it. He would give a phenomenal speech congratulating the players for their championship success, because he knew what it's like to be a champion. Oh yeah, there's also that one time during the ESPYs where he would point to each and every NBA legend. I'm not going to say the A word up here, but he would obviously point to each and every legend saying, "I'm gonna kick your tail." Thoughts?
I am so sorry. It's just thinking that seeing how Bill Russell has interacted with NBA players is really amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And well, I'm sure Ryan Walker should come on the show any minute now. He hasn't come on yet, but when he does, we're going to get his take on everything that's happened. But for now, to all the balls out there, get your head in the game. May God rest his soul, Bill Russell and Vince Scully. And we are BG.
Mm-hmm.